I've been up there a couple of times, mainly to see Santa Claus. My daughter works up there.
Nice to get the view.
So, well, she doesn't get any view. She's got 8 monitors in front of her.
Ah.
Oh gosh.
And they're 4 layers. And they're 4 layers deep. She's connected to all the major markets. Okay. And so, yeah, they run a great Christmas party. When our grandson was born, I brought him here. I brought him here to join her for lunch. So, but yeah. So, I mean, the place is changing. That building, that's Art Moderne. Okay, that is the original Bank of Nova Scotia. And it was designed, the stone one.
Okay.
Which looks like something out of the 1930s.
Something Scotia.
Yeah, it says Scotia there. This is out of the 30s.
Okay.
Anything Depression era, wedding cake type because it moves back. It's the late Art Deco movement. It's called Art Moderne. And when we come close, it was designed in the late 30s by one of the top firms in Toronto, one of the original firms that Dickinson broke open. And 39, the war started. The plans were shelved. When the war ended, the bank, instead of going with the new trend, pulled those drawings out and rebuilt them. So this is one of the last examples of Art Moderne, totally outside its period. Okay, it should have been done in the 30s. It was done in the late 40s. When they did City Hall, the first proposals for new Toronto City Hall were these classical, this height, that thing you saw, the post office building down on Front Street. That's what they were coming up with. People in Toronto hated it and demanded that they hold a competition, which is why the Swede, that's why he got it. It's an international competition. And, the architectural firms here hated it.
Because of its solidness.
No, because because it was something new and they couldn't design that. Mm-hmm. Okay, it showed them up. Basically, it was slapping them in the face. Wake up, guys! It's a new era. We're not into that. That's how conservative this town was. Okay, so I mean, when you look at some of the older buildings there, they're absolutely gorgeous. But it's a different era. 1880s done in 1940s, 30s. This is 1940s. That should have been finished in the 20s as a style, but that's not Toronto. Okay, so I actually have a great argument. My wife says that Toronto, a lot of the new buildings in Toronto, we had money when nobody else did, and when, as she said, the styles were really awful, so we built in some of the worst styles. But then I have to take her on this tour and say, well, no, actually not. We actually have some very nice buildings. Okay. So one of the things about that one, that this is where you've got to come onto the corner here for them to talk about it. And you're competing with the piper that, actually there used to be a bagpipe on the corner. And then the people, the facilities people in First Canadian Place paid him to get off the corner. They said, how much do you want to get out of here? He was allowed to do that, or they were going to say, or else we'll just take you through the city and charge you, have you charged, making noise, because we'll use a meter on you. If you hit 80 decibels, it's too loud, And so they said, look, we can either do that or, how much to go away. Because he had, he's busking. He was trying to get some money.
Yeah.
So you notice on that building, on the top there, all those friezes.
Yeah.
The bas relief.
Bas relief.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have figures. So
They're
that's
all-
an example of figurative.
Yes. Figurative decoration. Look at the phony, the pretend ionic pilasters on the windows. I mean. And that's Art Deco in the sense of Sumerian, Assyrian art. So Icarus, and flying towards the sun, and some of the other people. They're all kinds of the legend people. This building was
Which one are we looking at?
the stone one here. Now you can see the 4 figures on top. Use your zoom lens.
Yeah.
Use your zoom lens. You can really see it. Okay.
What building is that?
Oh yeah.
That's the Imperial. Bank
You
of
won't really notice it if you don't really look at it.
Yeah.
Or nobody told you.
the light. Look at the lighting here. Look at this reflections. It's gorgeous. Look back on the TV. Look at just the reflections. The down here. This if you got $1 million, you can open a savings account. It may even be higher now. Inside inside here. And again, I got the tour. Some of the wall murals and paintings were done by the Group of Seven. Members of the Group of Seven did them. So there's artistic components there.
This building is, sorry, what's the name?
Imperial Bank of Commerce.
Imperial Bank of Commerce.
This is CIBC. That's the original CIBC. This one, and we're in competition. This was the tallest building in the Commonwealth, and this one claimed to be the tallest. They said our building is higher. They said our top floor is higher than yours, or vice versa, one or the other. But anyway,
So BMO and CIBC.
yeah, always all these tall buildings, like in New York, right?
Oh yeah.
You had all the buildings downtown. They built the Chrysler Building, and then the Chrysler Building was done, and the guy said, "Well, is that it? Is that how high you're going?" And they said, "Yes." So then they finished the one downtown in Manhattan, and it got the record of being the tallest building in the world. That night, they opened the roof of the Chrysler Building, and what they've been doing inside is they've been putting a mast together.
No way.
And that night, they cranked the mast up, and the next day, the Chrysler Building was the tallest building in the world.
Oh, that's awesome. I
That's the
didn't know
kind of
that.
competition people were playing.
Oh my god.
So then a group of people got together and said, we're going to build the Empire State Building, and it's going to be this high. It's 200 or 300 feet taller than anything.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
What's the material on this building? What's the skin? I mean, here, this is a modified glass, actually. They took the stone away and put
limestone. Is that limestone?
that one, yeah. But what's this one?
Galvanized. Oh, the sheet metal, architectural.
Nope, not when it was built in the 80s. It wouldn't have lasted. This is the only, as far as I know, it's one of the only buildings in the world that use this material for the surfacing.
Oh, is it that alloy?
Actually,
With-
it's very basic. There's nothing fancy about it. This is stainless steel.
I was about to say that.
Yeah,
Steel
stainless,
with-
stainless steel.
No, but there's a word for it.
Stainless steel.
It's actually stainless steel.
Yep.
Yeah, because the one that I'm thinking of actually has a grayish patina.
Yeah. So that's one of the only ones. And you notice how many columns are there? Outside, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 bays, which is why the floor floor thickness is a little deeper. The structure's a little deeper. What they did is they have a nice open floor because you don't have that many columns. In this one, you've got a lot of columns that you have to deal with. In this building, I mean, you've got all these columns here. Every 6th window panel is a column, right?
Yeah.
So they looked at that, and here they just said 4 bed. That's it. Look at the other way. It's just 2. There's one set of columns in the middle.
Yeah.
There's almost no columns in that building. Okay, which is really awesome when you come down to it.
So that's the old
That's
CIBC.
the old CIBC. Let me put this one up next
The
to
new
it, yeah.
CIBC.
And Zeidler
So
did
that's the old, that's the
the
new.
new. And Zeidler did the stuff around.
And then the Bank of Nova Scotia.
And the Scotiabank built behind, yeah. Which is why they didn't have much property, which is why theirs is so narrow.